Hello, hello. Welcome to Bitcoin and Altcoin Trading Talk. Different webcam angle here tonight.
It's good. At least we got it nice and centered on you. The other
I got my
Hey, look at that. He's got the
Coinigy
t-shirt
rep.
on. There we go. Yeah, there you go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Bitcoin and Altcoin Trading Talk, episode 46. Don't have a hat on today, and yeah, just totally changing things up here. Different camera angle. I tell you what. So got a great show tonight. Alex is going to be popping on in a minute here. He's going to be late. But we have Byron back again from the Coinigy Team. How's it going, Byron? What's up? And then we have Brian Beamish, the Rational Investor. What's going on today?
Good evening. Hello, everybody. See, it looks awfully dark. I should turn on some light in the background.
No,
anyway,
you look just you light up the room, Brian.
Oh, there you go. Man after my own heart. Great to see you guys again.
Likewise. Been kind of in. I really haven't been following. Actually, I'm going to check the BTC price right now because I haven't looked in like 3 days. That's kind of sad. 1,015. Okay. All right. Well, we're still over 1K. Been buried in code.
How was and actually, from what I understand, you had an update to your API.
Yeah, we've been dealing with that. Nice segue, Brian. Thanks for that.
In there.
Yeah, so anybody who's an API consumer on Coinigy, definitely check your URL, or rather check your code. We changed the API endpoint. We do have, those of you who are coders are familiar with a 301 redirect. We have basically a redirect in place, but not everybody's code is set to follow location. So the new URL is basically, instead of www.coinigy.com, it's api.coinigy.com/API/v1. So if anybody's having issues with that, we're going to get a blog post out here shortly about it. But yeah, actually on Friday we did quite a large amount of upgrades, server upgrades, load balancers, that kind of thing. And we had, a couple hiccups there, but everything's running pretty smoothly now. We upgraded our real-time WebSockets API to Socket Cluster version 5. So those of you who are using that might be familiar with that. And so it'll also help if you upgrade your Socket Cluster client to connect to that. So yeah.
I feel a cough coming on. Not quite sure. Something like volume profile.
Oh wow, that's weird, Brian. You just got muted somehow. Yeah, it's on the list.
I'm just playing with you.
It's on the list. Byron, anything to add as far as the API stuff?
Just a reminder that they can go to our GitHub if they want to get the latest clients.
Right. Yeah, and Byron just pushed out like pure WebSockets and some other cool stuff too. So our GitHub is a treasure trove of cool connectors now.
So how is the evolution into an exchange going?
It's not so much an evolution yet. I mean, we're still kind of just working behind the scenes on getting everything straight as far as the exchange UI and setting processes in place. So we're still a few months out on that one. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the way that it's going to work kind of tentatively is, it's going to be two separate entities. So Coinigy will continue to exist as it is. And then we're going to have what's currently dubbed as Project Atom, which is going to be our altcoin exchange, as a separate entity. And then you'll obviously be able to connect it to Coinigy like you could with any other exchange. But yeah, there's going to be, I don't want to reveal too much just yet, really, until more things are set in stone. But we just have a lot of cool ideas, things that we've been wanting to do but can't because we don't technically hold funds on Coinigy. So just stay tuned. That's all I can really say right now. But it's coming together. Probably maybe by next show I'll start sharing some screenshots with you guys. We'll see it.
Cool.
Get some hype going.
Make them start drooling.
What was that, Byron?
Make them start drooling.
Yeah, start salivating.
All right, Mr. Jumbucks is here in the flesh.
Mr. Ubik.
Are we allowed to call you Jumbucks anymore, or do you
Oh
go
yeah,
by a new name?
it's great sentiment, you know, or what's the word, posterity, or it's a good throwback. So I'll always be fond of the Jumbucks, but yeah, Ubik is where it's at now.
Ubik. All right, and actually, I was I even, for anybody watching this, I was like, I'm not selling anymore. I believe in Alex. I want to see where Alex takes me. I've already got lots of free coins there. There's no reason for me to sell anymore. Alex, make me a millionaire.
Oh, the sentiment's good. So yeah, I'm hoping for the same.
I think we should definitely look at an Ubik chart tonight, though. Maybe we should start out with that or something. What are you thinking, Alex?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Actually,
You can give us your hard sell.
I kind of want to poll the community because we have a lot of different charts out there right now. Like if you look at coin market cap, you actually see the amended data of the Jumbucks price attached to the Ubik price. And I had someone text me today asking like, what the heck's going on with this? Something looks off. But then if you go on Bittrex, like you only see the price of Ubik. So my question for the Coinigy users is: do you guys want to see the Jumbucks history attached to the Ubik one, or do you want it to only be the Ubik? Or can you guys at Coinigy amend the data but divide it by 10 so it actually makes sense based on coin count?
Oh, is that how it goes? Yeah, we can do that. No problem.
Well, I'm
we
curious,
can do either.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm curious to what the community wants to.
Yeah, because yeah, like I'll get the coin market cap chart going up here. The market cap graph looks pretty good actually. So I'm pretty satisfied with that, but the actual price part of it is looking a little wonky here. Let me share it here. So yeah, you see a gap where we didn't have any trading going on, and then the market cap keeps going just fine, but then like the price is way down here because it's 1/10. You give people 10 times the amount of coins, they're obviously going to value it at 1/10. Like we're not one coin guys, come on.
Right.
But yeah, for the most part, yeah, things are going good. Trading's back up. We got records for volume. And we're looking for other exchanges if people are curious to, I don't know, try and get us on some other exchanges. I know like Polo is everyone's go-to, but even some of the smaller ones, if you want to harp on those guys to get some more diversified trading. And yeah,
we got tell me a little bit about what changed and what's new and what the difference is.
So we were based on on Bitcoin code base, and we were even like proof of stake for a little bit, and now we've done a token swap, and we are on an Ethereum based network now. Like we've taken the code for Ethereum and we've done changes to it. So now we are running a proof of work. So you can actually mine this coin with your graphics cards. And it also has all the same functionality that Ethereum does. So in that way, like we're able to build a lot more applications and stuff on it. So we have a couple proof of concepts coming out in the next month or so. Actually, at the end of March, I'm going to be doing a demo at a conference in Toronto. If anyone wants to come out, any Toronto peeps, it's going to be the Toronto AI conference on artificial intelligence. But yeah, we're going to throw a little blockchain in there too, just to kind of go with the theme of futuristic.
Rock on, dude, man. I'm so stoked for you. Way to go, man.
Yeah, it's cool. We got a couple of major Canadian banks are going to be at it too. So hopefully they see us and get kind of impressed and want to work with us.
Isn't that the enemy? Boo, hiss, hiss, boo.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Isn't
Nice comeback. Nice comeback. All right, fair enough. But anyway, way to go, dude. I'm glad you got it off. And yeah, we can look at the chart. It was funny. I was joking with Alex. I said, watch, for the first candle, And don't let some cheeky little punk guy go and run it up to like 3,000 Bitcoin, right on the first day of trading.
Well, you guys somehow got on Bittrex without the first trade being like 1 Bitcoin or whatever.
Yeah, I think that might have just been like part of what we planned for was, carrying the value of the old coin forward to bring stability, and that's really what we got.
Yeah, that was good. I thought that the new listing date actually went really orderly for you guys, so I was really pleased to see that.
So yeah, we should put, let's just say formally, let's put it to like community poll. Do you want us to just tweet at us or something, let us know, or let us know in chat? Do you want us to append the earlier data? And then if so, do you want us to divide it by 10, basically?
Yeah, if you had my vote, I mean, just simply marry the two and just adjust the previous data set.
Yeah. I just don't want to tick anybody off.
The key to, and we need to understand this. This is actually pretty normal about new issues, right? They come to public and people look at this and they're like, oh, this looks pretty good. But if you amend it with the JBS data, of course, what you're going to see is, and if anything, I think, are we still?
Yeah, that might not pop up because it's been delisted. I don't know.
No, that's too bad because that chart
it might be
really valuable. That chart itself had a whole bunch of price gaps and key levels that we should probably keep in mind. So if you do merge the data, it'll really help us understand price action a little bit better, I think. As it stands right now, unfortunately, I can imagine that this thing probably, show me higher highs and higher lows. Higher highs and higher lows is a bull market, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some momentum divergence that's developed on this move to new highs here. And then also too, given the fact how far it did run, I wouldn't be surprised if we do have to, the parties happened. Alex and his gang pulled it off, so congratulations. I wouldn't be surprised if we have to have a little bit of a cleanup after the party. And it's interesting. I like to follow this parking garage kind of theory. I don't know whether you guys have ever heard me talk about it before or not.
Oh yeah.
But markets love to move in this sort of trading range kind of fashion. For those that are relatively new to trading, I think what happened was they brought the coin out. It did waffle a little bit, but it left a price gap, which actually suggested that it wasn't done. And sure enough, on this counter trend rally to fill the price gap, they really pressed the highs. If anything, I could see if there was going to be a bear, step in. We had a really nice, cute little inside candle develop right here. And I suppose you guys have been working with me long enough. You probably heard me talk about reload zones and stuff like that before. So if we just throw that on here, for people that are watching the video and like watching price action in real time, it shouldn't surprise us that the market rallied up into here, and here's our good old reload zone. So if this was a bear, and the bears wanted to step up and put a top in the market, what's really cool is there's a really cool little inside bar that developed right here, and we often say that you get this situation where bull-bear battle lines are defined. And I would argue that at this moment, you had a very clear, robust bull-bear battle line. If we went up through the high here, which wouldn't be too much of a stretch to break that high, then away we go up. If we break this low, confirming the inside bar, and actually it's really interesting to see how close those levels came there, then, she was Kaputski. So you can see real indecision bar. It was just the market just sat there. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? And market just didn't find any sellers. And so up she went. When it couldn't find any sellers, nobody wanted to step up and hit this thing. The bulls take over and away we go. And as I said earlier, this is such a cool demonstration of the parking garage, where in essence, this was basically a trading range. We accepted above the range, and all the market really wanted to do was just duplicate this range up top. That's exactly what it did. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
I suppose you could argue that we might have a big ass M trying to come in here, up, down, up. So watch for structural failure, and it looks to me like this is basically your battle line. If anything, you'll sort of know that this story's in trouble. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. You'll know the story's in trouble just in the short term. But as we said, right, people that played this story did very, very well. And sadly, of course, this is the public coming in here, and you know, if the story had to top out and clean itself up for the next month or two, it wouldn't shock me. And I think on balance, just like you had this very well-defined M sort of developing up here, if we M out here, that's probably telling you that she's done. As long as we keep making higher highs and higher lows, then you know it's just business as usual. In fact, you probably heard me talk about the BATT before. And you can even, you know, the irony of it all is that this shit works on, you know, S&P 500. It works on Bitcoin, and it even works on broiler chickens. Where is those levels? I thought I used to have them here. Anyway, 0.33 and 0.66. And I apologize, Alex. I'll try and be relatively quick here.
Oh, it's okay. I'm just getting the wheel ready.
Okay. Oh, I think actually Will already did that.
Yeah, I mean, I just pasted it in the.
Perfect.
Okay,
I used a different type of wheel, but.
You know, the good old BATT wants to see at least a 33%, but no more than a 66%. There's 66. It's awfully dark. So in essence, BATT is alive. And if we put in you know, me personally, I like to trade with 3 lows. Now, you know, I was in the lounge today debating with one of our members about exactly how many lows he needed to have to take the trade, and really it's all up to your own personal preference. But I could very easily see a long setup trying to develop. There's the 25 line. Didn't really set up that well. But I could see, can you guys see how we have a potential AB equals CD, boom, boom, AB, and then CD moving our way up top here. That's something like that. So really simply put, the trend is your friend until it isn't. And as long as this thing keeps making higher highs and higher lows, it's pointing higher. I'm not going to get in the way of it. You'll know that there's going to be trouble, and maybe this thing is done if we start emming out and making lower highs and lower lows. So, and also too, you know, the last comment I'll make about this is, remember, this thing came at from an awfully long way. So if and when Coinigy can merge the data, it'd be really interesting to draw fibs off of the original lows, and then see if there are any price gaps, that kind of stuff lining up. So, all right, that's my 2 cents there for whatever it's worth.
Cool, Brian. I appreciate the input. And, yeah, I hope we've been seeing a mystery market maker coming on that we're not really sure who's running it. So hopefully he can take us where he wants, and it's in the right direction.
Well, yeah, that kind of scares me a bit. So, you know, I want to hear that you're driving the bus here.
You know, I think I still have a lot of Jumbuck GBS that I earned through tips on your Slack. I could probably come in and do some market making.
We can get those sorted out soon enough. Yeah. No, but
have you reorganized all the tipping and all that? Are you tipping now in UBQ and all that on your Slack?
TipBot's a little bit lower on our priorities list, but because a lot of people withdrawed before we did the swap, but we will get the TipBot back up and running. I know that is something that should be done in the next week or 2 here.
You know, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually, because you're telling me when's the date of that Toronto conference?
March 28th.
Right, so everybody, Alex just basically gave you a fundamental catalyst window that we should all basically set our watches to. Right, so wherever the hell March 28th is on our charts, if you are a UBQ driver or a follower, that's the fundamental date that you want to, whoop, my chart can't go that far out. Anyway, somewhere out here. That's going to be a major fundamental catalyst that we want to keep an eye on. And it'd be actually really interesting as we do these shows to see how the price of the asset acts as Alex gets closer and closer to his big presentation. No pressure, no pressure, no pressure.
He's already sweating. Jeez.
Okay,
But,
well,
you know, like Royal Bank, there's some market maker Royal Bank guy, right, just sitting there going, you know that, you know, and he's going to come to the conference and he's already going to have a big position in your coin, right? But he'll act like, well, maybe I'm interested in buying. Right.
Right.
well, that's what I'm seeing right now with this mystery market maker. It seems like he's not getting any sellers because a lot of our guys are holding for long term, and he moves it up a little bit, and then he does a scare sell, and then it's like, oh geez, still no sellers. Okay, I guess I'll move it up again. And right now there's a wall at 6,500. But yeah, it's
Well, that makes sense,
smaller.
right? Because that's basically up in resistance up here, right? 6,500 is that those old highs. Right?
Well, and I'm wondering if that's his wall, and he's just trying to hold the market down so he can try and get some more sellers. But yeah, I don't want to speculate too much.
Well, you know, to be honest with you, for whatever it's worth, you're if anything, I would say you don't want this thing to go parabolic. You just want nice and quiet, slow and steady wins the race. You don't want this thing to turn into some shitcoin pump, right?
Yeah, parabolic will be fun for 3 days.
Yeah, and then you have to go through 6 months of shit cleaning it up, right? So if anything, I think it's probably in your best interest to say, you know, look at guys, just cool it.
Slow grind, yeah. No, we're at a pretty good price point right now with how it relates to the network hash rate, like the strength of the network. So we're at a point now where we feel pretty safe with it. But obviously, we'd like, you know, price to go a little higher so we incentivize more miners to be mining it.
But and this is what that and I always pronounce his name wrong. The Ethereum guy, Vitalik, right? Didn't he publicly come out once and say, I don't like the price of my coin this high? Isn't it kind of in your best interest to kind of keep the price of your coin relatively low so it's competitive?
Yeah, like to a certain degree. Like right now, our total supply is kind of in the same scope of how much like Ethereum there is out there. I think there's like 70 or so Ethereum, 70 million Ethereum, and we're like at 36 million. But yeah, like we are a lot cheaper to deploy, like to use our network versus Ethereum. But like that trade-off is security right now. But I think overall, like when I was talking with Vlad was the guy I interviewed who said, yeah, I think the price is kind of too high. You know, I think you know, people don't want to spend $20 to deploy a contract. Like you know, apps will get pretty expensive to run. I think that's just kind of the overall like thought of Ethereum too right now, where it's kind of like they don't have a monetary policy. Like they don't have a plan for how many Ether there's ever going to be, what's the interest rate going to be next year. And that was something we made sure to really have like nailed down. Like we know exactly what our 10-year plan is and that is sustainable. So like our inflation is only like 7% right now.
Well,
it's only going to go down.
Yeah. Awesome. Way to go, dude. So proud of you. All right. We kind of were going to do something a little different. Do we want to take some time to talk about that? Actually, I haven't really heard a hell of a lot in the news. I suppose the only thing that's really driving price right now is this ETF. Alex, you want to chime in on what's from industry perspective? What is your sort of thought of this ETF, and what's your feelings with all this?
Yeah, it's kind of make or break, I guess. They have till March 13th, I think, is the final day that it can be delayed to. But then they have to say it's approved or denied because I think it's like the SEC gives 240 some odd days from like filing to giving a final verdict.
Yeah.
And since now we're getting so close to that date, BitMEX has actually put in a prediction market for it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is that sort of what the purpose of that auger was supposed to be? Like making bets on whether something like this would actually get listed? Would that be like an application that auger was meant to do?
Auger is supposed to do that in like a distributed way to like you set it up and then people report on the actual event happening. This BitMEX is doing it in a centralized way, but it's exactly the same. Yeah.
And is there? I don't quite understand this. And somebody tried this. So is there like a? Is this kind of like that? Remember before Ethereum with the ICO, there was some guy that was listing a token and it was trading on the anticipation of this.
Yeah,
Ethereum. Do you
the
remember
original
that?
ETC.
Yeah.
That was Lisk, I think, that was trading before it was trading.
No. It was the
No?
Ethereum, and the guy had a token and he called it ETC, right?
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
that? And is that sort of the same kind of thing? Is that they've kind of created this token that's supposed to be a proxy on this?
No. This
I don't
one's
think you're going to be able to
interesting.
cash this in for anything other than
And
BTC
I actually
value.
tweeted about this, Brian. It'd be really interesting to see some TA on it because the market only goes from 0 to 100. So after this final date, it's going to either be 100 or it's going to be 0. 0 being the fund doesn't get approved, or 100 being yes, it is approved. So the market started at 50%, and if you bet in one direction, you're going to put it down a little bit, and if you bet in the other direction, you're moving it up. So it's kind of
Interesting.
so
Where
right
is
now
it
it's
right
at
now? What's it sitting on now?
33% that it's not going to pass.
What's this symbol?
It's
Is it on Coinigy?
It's on Coinigy under BitMEX. It's coin underscore
Coin
B.
BH17 is what we have. Yeah.
COIN, like that?
Yeah. And then
Oh,
exchange code
BH17.
BMEX.
And I saw it draw some gaps in the first couple of days, and I actually put some TA out just based on it refilling those gaps. But the funny thing is, you have to consider the value of Bitcoin in the pricing or the percentage of this, because if the ETF gets approved, we're talking about Bitcoin going up significantly in value.
Well, and that's the thing, is that what happens if this ETF is approved and Bitcoin actually goes down in price? Why does everybody assume that Bitcoin's price is going to go up if this thing gets approved?
Because we're going to get such a huge flood of investors, Brian.
Well, look at your EBQ. It's the same sort of thing.
It's going to be the public.
EBQ was something else before.
Yeah.
Right? And the price got bid up into the event. I might argue that your EBQ is actually very UBQ, sorry, is very normal behavior of an initial public offering. And I actually look at things like other exchange traded funds that are trading, and I had to say it, guys, this is looking pretty damn heavy. And one thing that's really bothersome about this thing is a lot of stock market people like to play these. They like to be in whatever asset is outperforming the S&P 500. And that's what this study is down here. It just is a relative performance to the S&P 500. And you can see on balance, this Bitcoin ETF trust, this GBTC, it's been outperforming for quite some time, but I don't really like the look of what I'm seeing here. Something's not right. So I'm concerned that, buy the rumor, sell the news. It seems to me that, a hell of a lot of bullishness is already baked into the price here. So I don't know. I'm why is it everybody's assuming that Bitcoin's price is going to go up on this IPO? That doesn't make any sense to me.
So you think it may be already priced in, like we've been rallying for this event?
I think to a certain degree there is definitely that possibility. Now, also too, remember seasonality. Do you think it's an accident that they want to bring this thing to market right in the middle of March? That's like the juicy sweet spot for the stock market. Mm-hmm. So what I think could very easily happen, and if we actually look at Bitcoin price, let's see, where's this? I got it. That's not what I want. Okay, here, let's just here. BTC, USD. If we just look at the Bitcoin price, what I see is a successive sort of, how do we describe this? Actually fairly orderly stair-stepping its way higher. And actually, I do have this really cool stamp chart that shows that, remember we just talked about those parking garages, right? Where this was a trading range, 200% extension up to here, and then we had to consolidate. And this was a range breakout, 200% range move up, and then consolidate. And then same damn thing here, breakout to new highs, 200% range extension, and then consolidate. And then also too, when I look at Bitcoin price, you notice that we have a big run up, then a pullback, then a chop, 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 and then a final dump. Here we have a big run up, pull back, run up, chop, 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 final dump, and away we go. So I look at price right now, and should it really surprise us to see a hell of a lot of difference? Got a big run up, 200% parking garage extension, big initial dump, counter trend rally, chop, 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 right? And when does the Bitcoin ETF come to market? Oh, right there. So that would actually correspond nicely with previous rollovers after a nice little consolidation after the big dump. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Well, it sounds like regardless whether it passes or fails, it's going to go down there.
Well, you know, and in a weird sort of way, sometimes, you know, I mean, look at the silly stock market. I would be willing to bet if you asked people before the silly election, what's going to happen if Donald Trump gets elected, I bet you everybody would have said, oh, the stock market's going to go down. And the silly stock market just literally on election day just fucking turned and went straight up. So in a weird sort of way, it's almost like the fate, you know, any way you slice it, this thing had its big initial dump. And, you know, if you believe in like Elliott wave kind of idea, usually these corrections are in a sort of two-pronged fashion. It usually goes A, B, C kind of idea. And I'm concerned that we've had a hell of a lot of resistance built up top, and now we've got a whole bunch of resistance levels, and the fact that this was a massive resistance level up here. So we've got a hell of a tough slog to break out to new highs here. And this isn't a complete correction phase. You know, really, you guys, did I ever show you those stamp spiral charts? They're so cool. But
the one where it's going up to 5K?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, really the point is that consolidations usually look like triangles. And I don't, you know, when I look at this, I see, okay, an initial burst up, a pullback here. It still looks to me like this is very much in the process of consolidating this rally here. I don't think we're ready to move to new highs. Now, keep in mind, market will do any old damn thing it wants. This is just my opinion. But my opinion is I'm feeling like we still got a little too much bullishness in this market, and that needs to be sort of played out. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell. And I don't know, did anybody else want to throw anything in? I don't mean to dominate the conversation here. Sorry.
No, it's good.
I'm just here to listen.
Byron, actually, give me your thoughts in 2 sentences.
Well, I think it's not as distributed as I would hope it would be for being distributed, but it's not you know, it's not as less distributed as it is more distributed for being something that's on the blockchain.
Okay.
You mean the ETF itself, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking about this image here, this GBTC? Is that what you were talking about?
Sorry, I think my mic keeps in and out of there.
Oh, I think your mic is, yeah.
Okay. Well, I put Byron on the spot there. I apologize. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry, Chief. He's probably like, oh my God, what the hell are you doing to me? Sorry. My general feeling is that usually IPOs, they're going to take the price up into that event. You want to make this really simple at Bitcoin, really simple for Brian. Just go and break these highs, please. Just, I mean, what's $100 between friends, right? We're talking about $150. Alex, go call up a couple of your buddies and just break this damn thing out to new highs.
Yeah,
And
it
then
seems to have
that'll
it has no problem going down $100 in like 15 minutes. So I can imagine it could go up $100 in a couple days. That would be a
Mhm.
okay. Well,
fairly reasonable thing to ask.
just do it. Just get it done, and then Brian will be like, "Rah rah, market structure, bull, away we go." While we're still fighting up here in this range, I just gotta cool my jets. I can't get too excited, and it sucks, right? Because everybody wants to be a bull. We want to be a bull. Come on, let's make money, right? Rah, rah, rah. But right now, I just gotta cool my jets.
I can't get too excited about anything anymore, you know, because there's so many. Everything's just a clone of this, a clone of that, and nobody's really doing anything new. I want to see I want to see some innovation going on here. You know, something that I think people are really going to jump on. That'll really make, you know, you want to see those waves in that market. You want to see those lines starting to go up. You know, I think it was last week we were talking about, what were they, M's and W's? You know, I think we need to see something really happen.
Well, really, what I'm waiting for is what's the date of that conference, Alex?
The March 28th.
There's our catalyst. No pressure, Alex. No pressure. I'm just being silly. Yeah, I agree with you. And of course, we have this major Segwit sort of albatross overhanging the market. And Alex is telling us now, if I understand it correctly, that and you know, it's interesting. Alex said, well, you know, let's try and do some simple TA. I think very simply put, when you look at this, like this thing opened up at, like Alex said, 50%, and right out of the gate, which way did it go? Down. That's not good. So is this if it's above 50%, then the trend is toward acceptance. If it's below 50%, then the trend is toward rejection. Is there some sort of magic number that this has to be for Segwit to actually pass?
That's for the ETF getting passed.
Oh, this is the ETF. I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm totally.
Or are people just hoping that it is going to pass and they want to get that sweet margin when it's down in the 30s as opposed to when it's higher?
Yeah, because right now you're basically like you're betting 3-to-1 odds that the ETF is going to get passed if you're buying this. If you're selling it, you're on the 3-to-1. You're on the 3 side.
Assuming that, but you know, if it doesn't get passed and you buy it at 30, what happens? Or you're shorting? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, you're shorting
you're
it goes to zero.
Oh, okay, fair enough. And the absolute maximum reward is $30 here.
Yeah, I think so. Like somebody would be putting up 30 to your 70.
Oh, isn't that interesting? So this is totally peer-to-peer. It isn't like there's a market maker here?
Right.
I think like Arthur, whoever's running it, probably put like bids in the books on both sides, because if you do even bidding on both sides, you're just adding liquidity and you actually don't have any risk. Like that was something I read about with Augur too. Is like someone can load up both sides, the bid and the ask, so that way, you know, one bid doesn't move it like 3%. You could actually put in a shitload of orders on both sides. So, you know, it's got more of a liquid pool to push around.
All right, so ETF, keep an eye on this. Interesting how we put in a little bit of a bottom here. Somebody has decided that the odds are better than this 30A and are bidding it up here to 30.5 or whatever. I suppose one could argue, as long as you keep seeing lower highs and lower lows, that's just basically the trend. Probably easier to look at this as a line chart, right? So just simply M's and W's kind of idea. It is interesting, probably on the panic dump, right? Can you see the harmonic pattern that developed here? So the resolution through this harmonic level here, that might even be a Gartley, but it kind of looks like a BATT. Basically, that action there said, you know, this market's explored this area, it doesn't want to be here, it wants to be away. So, you know, people trading this, cute little double bottom there. I don't mind the idea of saying, all right, I'll go long at 34%. And if we break back below 30 or 29, 28, whatever, I'm just going to walk away. it's doable. You can see how that came in right here, but then that failed. So that setup failed. I don't know whether, I don't think we can do things like candlesticks or anything, but maybe even off, like, say, the problem is probably not a hell of a lot of volume here, eh? This just sits here, just
Yeah, you can see
completely
it's no
damaged.
volume. Then somebody places a bet, then no
Yeah.
volume.
So, we have an old, saying in the markets, these kind of illiquid markets are dangerous, especially if you're a motivated seller. You could get wiped out. So a lot of chop back and forth. Looks to me like it's if anything, this is basically saying that the odds are against this thing passing, right?
Yeah, basically the market sentiment right now is showing that it's not going to pass.
Yeah. And I don't mean to piss off Bitcoiners, right? But the news releases and stuff that I was reading, and the analysts, what they were saying was, it's a lot easier for the regulators. Like, they can't put the decision off anymore, but it's a lot easier for them to just simply say, we're not ready to approve this. We're just not there. It's not ready. Versus them really taking the risk of actually getting this thing, giving it approval. So that's sort of the tone that I heard, that the analysts themselves didn't think that the odds of this thing being approved were high. So I kind of caution people in that regard. I'm sure all the latest China stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Trump appoint some sort of Bitcoin sort of aristocrat into his advisory committee or something?
Yeah, I forget what role he's serving, but there is someone who is formerly of a Bitcoin company working with Trump. So.
Yeah, so I could see that if, and this is still, almost a month away. I could see if Trump had inertia, had the wind at his back, and this advisor could really sort of put the screws to the SEC. I could see that there could be some political influence here, but Mr. Trump isn't. He's under the gun a bit right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if even they might lobby it, but the SEC might itself feel empowered, and actually, as a way of lashing back against him, might just disapprove this just to spite him. I don't know. That's total conjecture. This is interesting. I think, for me to actually participate in this, I'd need this to be a little bit more liquid.
Yeah, I think it's mostly just a for fun thing.
Yeah, I don't know whether I'd put in.
Not something you'd necessarily stick a lot of money in. But.
We used to have this site called InTrade about 10 years ago, and that was such an awesome place. It would have all these bets running all simultaneously, and then mysteriously Big Brother came and shut them down. It was too bad. It was a really cool site. But anyway. Okay, so is there such a thing as a market-based one of these? And maybe you can talk to the BidMix guy, if we could put together one of these on whether Segwit's going to pass or not.
Yeah, no, that'd be, I think, another good prediction market to run. I'm just trying to find out now exactly when did Segwit start signaling, because it only has a year before.
Yeah, wasn't it last September, October? I seem to remember that the 1 year deadline was like September, October.
Yeah, but there's nothing to stop them from just re-implementing it. So it's not like it's a huge fundamental event for November, but it just means that everyone has to start signaling again. It's just one of those things, I guess. They put a time limit on it just because.
Yeah, did you guys see my tweet about, I said Bitcoiners aren't going to like this? Because I kind of think, again, I is just throwing it out there. I don't want to piss anybody off. But I recently put together a chart, and I found it kind of compelling that it looks like Bitcoin's actually trying to carve out a really big harmonic pattern, a Gartley pattern. Where is that GDAX? Such a cool chart. Let's see if I can do this for you. Where did we do that off of? I think we did it off of this low here. So you guys ever heard me say before, Bitcoin loves mountain man? I don't know if you've ever heard me say that before, but wow, Bitcoin just absolutely loves Mountain Man. And if we put Mr. Mountain Man on the chart, you see that basically we came down and pretty much tagged that right on the nose there. And then we rallied back up. And this was actually a fairly well-defined 78.6. Will, what do I call 78.6? I gotta keep bugging you.
Is that line in the sand?
Hey, excellent. Wait,
Okay, good.
So in essence,
I got one right.
We got, whoops, that's not what I want. I want this one. We got boom to boom to boom to boom. If we come down here, theoretically, a Gartley would be 78.6 right into that area. And I've kind of postulated that if this does happen, this is what's called a potential reversal zone, PRZ right here. And if we get a nice little divergence and some nice little structure in price down here, I'm telling everybody this could be the fucking buying opportunity of a lifetime. So if we think about things like the actual cost of production of Bitcoins, if we understood that back here, the average cost of production was 150 to 300. After the halving event, that number goes to 300 to 600. So seeing a bottom right around the top of the cost of production or the top of value, in my opinion, makes a lot of sense. That would also clean up a lot of unfinished, tails that need to be eaten, kind of talk along here. And what I find really interesting too is you'll notice if we put the original double bottom breakout. You remember when we were originally talking about the bullish bot last fall? That was that breakout level. And remember we talked about cup and handle. Do you guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Now the irony of it all is if this Gartley plays out the way it is, all they're going to do is just bring price right back to that original breakout point. And this is what I'm worried about for ETF people. Right, is they bid price up, it's nice and frothy, and the public is basically going to come in and buy that ETF at the top of the market. Mr. Gann says that corrections usually should knock off 50% of the move, and he liked to use the zero level. So if we actually look at this high at 1200, 50% of that, right, is basically that $600 area. If we, if we look at other measures that sometimes are plotted along the right-hand side of the screen.
Very subtle, Brian.
There's other anecdotal evidence to support a move down into this area as well. So this is what I'm, as an old gnarly technician, of course, everybody in Bitcoin land's like, oh, fuck you, Brian, right? I don't want to see that. But I'm kind of feeling like it. If anything, I want market prove me wrong. The easiest way to prove this thesis wrong, just go take this damn thing up to new highs here. Just $100. Alex, go buy some damn Bitcoins. Right? Just take it up here, $100. Get the damn argument over with, done. So I'm sort of right now a little bit stressed, if you will. And, if we start, like I said, this is 78.6. I don't know whether we've done a video since, but man, I was barking like a dog on the internet the last week. And of course, all my site members, they listen to my rants on a daily basis. But in essence, can you guys see how this, basically they just took the market right back into the reload zone there? See that?
Yep.
And God, if people watching this video, seriously, if you start seeing people on Twitter saying, I just mortgaged my house to buy Bitcoins, that's a major warning that get ready. The market's getting ready to bitch slap some people. And that's exactly what happened here. It was just nasty. And you want to hear it, you want to see a kick in the pants. This is what drives, it drives technicians crazy. Is, of course, all the public's buying in here, and hopefully they didn't buy on leverage and margin and get wiped out. But what was really interesting is, a while ago we were talking a little bit about this inverted head and shoulders, and it sort of goes like this, there to there to there to there. Do you remember? Have we done a show since this?
Yeah.
Remember that? All right. So can you see the inverted head and shoulders here?
Mm-hmm.
And also too, if we do things like harmonics off of that low up to that high, what you see is, well, you know, it really shouldn't have surprised us to see price stall up here. And you know, what kills me about this is if we do just a reload zone from this high back to this low, can you see how the reload zone where institutions are going to buy is this window right there? And all they did was they just cranked market right down into that reload zone and then just backed it up.
That's so spot on too.
Yeah, and what's sick, right, Will, is check out how this is basically like this neckline goes out over time. So what they really did here was they just brought the market right back down into the original head and shoulders bottom. So, you know, the sad part about this is actually quite a bit of this is very cliche. There really isn't any surprises that are going on in price action here. I apologize if this looks pretty messy here. Let's maybe get rid of that, and we'll get rid of that. So you can see that reload zone tag there. It was just like literally textbook. Do you see how they just zinged it down into there and then just jackknifed it right out of there? Incredible, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So what do I see right now in the short term? I think what I see is back and forth. We got this big fundamental catalyst that everybody's waiting for. March, when's this supposed to be the date? 13th? Somewhere around there, right? 10th?
Yeah, I believe it's the 13th.
All right, so in essence, you can see the market setting up into this fundamental event. You know, all the public, for heaven's sakes, maybe just let the dust settle from this event. And as I showed you, you know, Gartley's and stuff like that, considering we don't really have another fundamental catalyst for price to move into until really September, October, right? That's when Segwit is supposed to be officially passed, right? So, you know, it'll be, I think we'll probably have another show before this actual fundamental event. So let's see how this develops. My hunch is we're going to play around this $1,000 level, big fat round number. Shouldn't surprise us that we're just oscillating around here. And my hunch is, and this is just my hunch, but let's see what happens over the next couple of weeks. We're going to eventually top out and start to correct following this fundamental event. So we'll see what happens.
Sounds good.
All right.
Should we get on some wheel action?
Yeah, I kind of went off on a tangent there. Sorry, guys.
No, that's fine. It's interesting.
I hope that helps. I hope everybody looking at this video understands why price failed here where it did. I think that's pretty obvious. Well, not obvious, but a good learning lesson here for everybody.
Well, and Bitcoin's important to cover because it's the main pairing that we go to for a lot of these altcoins. But yeah, I'm curious to see what shows up on this new wheel that you found, Will.
Yeah, I don't know how well it's going to work or what, but...
Okay.
Do you want to show it?
What do I look at first?
Doesn't matter. Why don't you go ahead and show it, Alex? I have
there it is.
All right.
it's a 4K monitor, so I don't know if I'll be able to share it properly.
Look at all those damn coins. Jesus, that's a lot. We got a lot of feedback on this show, right?
Decred.
Decred. Oh, I got off a double on this recently.
Oh, I hope you got at least one.
Well, I just I didn't grab the bottom. It's such a pretty bottom, but I was holding a whack of it through all this correction, just doing little old ladies nibble, 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 and my average cost was actually the double bottom breakout level here, and I got my double off here, so I'm a happy camper. In fact, on the site tweets and stuff, I was like, I got my free Decred. I'm a happy camper. Now, you know, the interesting thing about this, and it's just, you know, it's ridiculously cliche, guys, and everybody watching this, you know, it's too late. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. But can you guys remember through November and December, what was I saying? I was saying, I'm buying, I'm buying, I'm buying, I'm buying. And do you guys see the W that came in here right into the end of the year? I mean, basically, they just ripped this thing down, nice little W, and then, like, literally there's the first day of the calendar year. So they had one more last little oomph. I think that was probably right around Alex's interview with the guy. Basically, he came on Alex's show and said, yep, we're legit, we're real. Alex said, all right, internet, it's all right to buy this thing. And boom!
It was actually around the 20th that I interviewed him, but
okay.
I'll take credit for what happened everywhere else after that. Yeah.
I was setting you up here. You could have taken credit for it.
No, but yeah, I think for this project, there's definitely a lot of buzz around it, and now even the creator of Litecoin, who is also the chief technical officer of Coinbase, is quite enthused about it. So this could be a potential Coinbase ad sometime in the near future. I know they were going there to do a presentation recently, so it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Like watch for a good retrace and buy those dips.
Well, okay, and so that's sort of the key, right? Is wicks and tails like to be eaten. It shouldn't have surprised us that it's going to run into resistance into these levels right in here, right? Can you guys see my screen? You know, this high, this high. I do see, do you guys see this gap right here? That's going to be a pretty big brick wall. Whatever, and it'd be interesting, Alex, because you kind of know the story. It'd be interesting to see why this coin gapped lower that day. Somebody obviously was not happy through this. In fact, that was a big, so they pumped it up on a massive amount of volume there, and then just crapped out. So something happened there. I think that's probably the top of your range. And if we just do, you know, reload zones and stuff, you know, we can do something along those lines. You could even go all the way up here. I know a lot of people just like to use candle bodies, because keep in mind, if we change this, institutions primarily watch line charts. And if we change that to a line chart, you can see how that's that high in there. But anyway, you slice it, right? I mean, we're heading into major resistance up here. So, you know, I mean, the worst part about it is, of course, where did the public get most interested? And they're most interested in here, but they're not buying the bottom, right? Where we said the bottom was way down here. I was lucky, you know, with all my purchases, my average cost was here. And when I saw this rally, I was like, fucking A, man, I'm taking profits. And I think that makes sense, you know, seeing all these candle wicks. And I think, just as Alex said, that's probably what you need to do if you are interested in this story. You just got to be patient and disciplined, draw your little reload zones. You know, we can go back down off of the lows. And do you guys see this gap right here? See that gap right there?
Yeah.
And then there's also this cheeky little tail right in there. I don't know whether you can see that. See that funny little tail right in there? So that, to me, is sort of painting a trade location window just on the candlesticks. And then I look at the good old fibs, and gee whiz, Mountain Man sitting right there at 61.8, and line in the sand is this double bottom, that original structural low there that probably was the actual rocket fuel that launched this rally out here. So, you know, just as Alex suggested, you know, work your fibs, work your levels. And, you know, you could work blind open orders. I love working open orders, but some people it's a little stressful. You could just, you know, if you don't want to work open orders, then you can just let the market come back down, settle down, put in some sort of W, and away we go. All right. Probably if we look at the internals, my hunch is we're probably going to start to see some divergences developing up here. Actually, it's not too bad, but actually here we can see Willie, our overbought, oversold indicator, doing his job like a champ. Can you guys all see how Willie went nice and stupid right here? So basically it did its job. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. Just tell us if market's getting overextended. So, you know, from that perspective, I think it makes sense. You know, duh, look at this fucking rally, right? So it kind of makes sense that this thing's overbought. You can see this structurally, it's working its way lower here. If anything, this is good that we don't see just a mass rush of heavy sell volume. But you can also see too, you want to know when this thing's a bull again? Just simply, and I think we've talked about volume impetus before. What we want to see is we actually want to see green bars making higher highs, not lower highs like this, right? If anything, you could argue here's a volume divergence from this high to this high, right? The volume bars themselves are cascading lower. And I would actually say that the bulls officially fell asleep on this day right here. So what is that day? That's the 9th of February. Let's see what happened. 9th of February is there. So this rally, this counter trend rally, there just wasn't that much buying interest. Volume impetus fail. You can see OBV rolling over, inside bar, see you later. So yeah, definitely a horrible trade location to buy right now. Work your bids, reload zones against key lows, right into this support area, or simply let the market come down and start showing you signs that it's ready to turn.
Good deal.
Just a quick fundamental on this. This has the same supply curve as Bitcoin, and since it's only a year old, it's got 3.8 million coins out. Eventually, we'll have 21 million.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, just wait it
Wow.
out, guys. It's going to be a little while before this puppy comes, like catches up with inflation. But
it's got like a $9.3 million market cap. Did these guys actually do anything? Like, is their coin actually being used by people?
I would say it's
Software-wise,
being
actually pretty
used.
innovative.
Byron knows about it. Yeah.
It's very innovative. Yeah, that's for sure. It's proving out some new governance. Like if anything, this could fix Bitcoin's problems with how to upgrade fluidly and smoothly.
Okay, well, so one to keep an eye on. I like for my students, I like to simply say, you know what? You want to keep this really simple. Just show me weekly W's. So as it is right now, we have a weekly V bottom. Let's see it come down, test these lows, turn back up, and then we'll know this thing's for real. It might just be a maturation process, but something like a maid, right? Can you see the little W's that's put in right here?
Mm-hmm.
To me, the market is speaking very, very loudly to me on a weekly basis here. So that's what I'd really like to see from Decred to know that that thing's the shit.
Yeah, I think if you can buy in between that 12 and 14, you're going to be pretty happy come summertime.
Down in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, against these lows?
Yep.
All right, all I will say is market structure-wise, we haven't actually put in bullish market structure yet. So I would prefer to let the market tell me that this thing's bottomed. I do like the fact, look at this OBV bottom in here, very powerful. So I do like that. There's lots of good signs here. I just think, if anything, maybe this just ran too far too fast.
Yeah, they did. I think that was the time, right, William, when they started doing the public marketing, and
well, they started. The guy went on. Alex, Byron? Did you watch Alex's interview with him?
no. I just know that they started doing some like viral.
He's heartbroken now. He's
Byron's in the penalty box.
No, they said, yeah, they were going to go to more conferences and stuff and start being more public. So I think they finally kind of had the public image ready. Like they had something that was usable for a lot of laymen's, because before it was kind of difficult to kind of use the currency. Now usability is definitely up, so now they're going to start being more public with it and trying to
That's cool. Yeah. And who was it?
Last client, it was pretty hard to use, and then they're working on the next client, which is going to come, I'm guessing around summertime. So I'm
summertime. Okay, so we actually have like a fundamental catalyst to actually kind of hunt for, right? If anything, I kind of like the idea. Maybe give this the next month or two to work down into support, and then let's really put on our spidey senses to watch for a sexy little W. It might be a candle pattern, but if we're really lucky, give us a nice juicy W to set up your fundamental driver here.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking too.
All right, cool. Actually, I think we got that tape pretty well.
Yeah, let's get another wheel going here. Round and around she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. Maid. Oh, you just looked at maid.
All right, we could just do it really quick. What I really like about maid is, and if anything, to understand the maid story, what we really have to talk about is a story that actually is quite on the forefront of this whole space, and that's IOC. If we look at this maid chart, can you see how maid kind of looks like IOC did back here? You see the similarities, guys?
Not quite.
Hold on a second. Hold on. All right. So we have a range, nice bottom, double W, boom, breakout, and off to the races she goes. What I'm talking about here is this nice structural pattern of higher highs and higher lows. If we head on back over to maid, and there's one reason why I really like this story is, can you sort of see it now? You see the W's, and look at this bigger W that's really trying to
Giant
form
W.
there. You know,
W.
obviously, you know, we're kind of anticipating, hoping, right? Pray, but we can see that money is flowing into this thing, and it's not actually overbought yet on the weekly basis. And if this thing can get it going, just like we saw with IOC, what's really interesting is I see quite often 300% range extensions on these breakouts. So if we're going to do that and we do 300%, and I know, you know, everybody's going to go, oh, fucking hey, man, I can't wait till this happens. But I don't see any reason why we can't realistically shoot, just like we saw with that IOC, a nice rally up into this 0.00085 area way up here.
85,000 from
Yes, is that what
20,
that is?
what are we at right now?
23, 20, oh, 19? Yeah,
Wow.
I could see that. Wouldn't surprise me at all. You know, and it would just, you know, I had one that was like that a year or two ago, right? That silly Ruby. Same sort of thing, right? When you look at the range itself, can you see the weekly W that came in here? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go, right? And boom, away it goes. And you don't think at the time, right? Let's do that same study, right? Let's go boom, boom, right? And 300% is up there. Let's see how close we came to hitting that. There's 300% there. That was fucking nothing, right? So, you know, looking at that maid, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if this thing gets going. Obviously, it's apples and oranges, but again, thinking weekly structure, if maid can break out through this range, I don't see any reason why we can't shoot up into here. And I really like what I'm seeing, you know, higher time frame structure. In fact, what I'm telling sort of my people is, I think, if anything, we could look back a few months, a few years from now, and we actually see that this is sort of like the basement. And, you know, you hear people talk about getting in on the ground floor. And you're going to look back and you're going to see this W and you're going to go, oh, man, I wish we had gotten in on the ground floor, right? Well, I think we're basically forming the basement of, you know, or the ground floor right now. So I'm really stoked about this one.
Yeah, I'm hoping they finally launch their network and they become more than just vaporware. Like,
Yeah, what's going on with the fundamentals?
I think the last I heard was vaults are in testing, which basically means like they're on testnet right now. So we hopefully will see this year maybe the mainnet will launch and you can actually participate, and like the next generation of the internet will start in 2017.
I tell you, if somebody came to me and said, Brian, can you show me a chart that you think that looks like it's got a good future? I'm telling you, this chart here is screaming to me.
Yeah, I'm liking it long term. This is one of the oldest and most successful ICOs.
Yeah. Okay. So, and maybe we better, you know, temper Brian's bullish enthusiasm. Can I actually justifiably go out and buy this here? Well, I'm sorry, guys. Look at my feed. I actually was selling maid here. So keep in mind, I bought down here, right? Reload zones against previous lows. And I realized a double, and I'm sitting on a free investment now. I sold half on a double, right? So please, audience, don't think I'm telling everybody to go out and buy maid here. If you did want to join the party, right, good old, what do you think I'm going to suggest you do? I mean, hopefully you guys hear broken record half the time from me. But can you see here, 200 period moving average, the original market structure bottom, and good old mountain man. And look at this big honking tail that's just screaming to be eaten right into there, right? So, you know, same thing as that last one that Alex was talking about. What was that last one we were looking at? Anyway.
Decred, yeah.
Work your bids. If you don't want to work bids outright because it scares you, okay, well then just be patient and wait for signs of new structure. to get on the long side. I would not consider this right here a good trade location.
Yeah, I actually just sold some, but I'm looking to put it back in at definitely somewhere lower on where you got, Brian. It's something I'm working buys on, hoping to catch a good price because, yeah, this project, long term, I'm hopeful for it. I think they're actually doing stuff, and when they do finally launch in the network, you're going to see some pretty crazy shit happen in that chart.
Well, and like I said, maybe I've just been doing this too long. I see this crap in my sleep. But when I look at this chart, especially this W right down in there, right against these lows. I mean, if this was a bear, they would have knocked it down and through the lows here. But somebody stepped up and said, no, you go up now. So this is clearly a massively important level for this coin. So, cool. This is basically capitalism in the infancy right here. So, it's so cool that we can participate in this capitalist process.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's going to be a good one for sure. Let's see what else we got on the wheel here.
All right. Am I doing a decent job here? Am I talking too much? Talking too little? Talking out of my butt?
I'm good. We have time for probably like 2 more, I'd say.
Yeah. Right. Shift. I know Loomdart's going to be happy about this one.
Symbol?
Spelt shift, SHIFT.
Okay. What do you think about these coins that only trade on one exchange?
Oh, they're just the bee's knees. Just like Ubik. We're only on Bittrex right now, but I don't know. I think it's obviously worrisome, but Bittrex isn't going anywhere. So if
Bittrex isn't going to go anywhere, but they might fucking kick you in the nuts.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Can you support more than one exchange? Like Jumbucks was on more than one exchange, but our other exchanges were dead. We didn't really support them at all. So that's why I think.
Is it in your best interest just to have it listed on like Cryptopia or Ubik or something like that, just in case?
Yeah, like we would like there to be a more defined market and have like a decentralized market, if you will.
Yeah, that would be cool, eh? Like an exchange that sort of like lived on the cloud.
Yeah, I think we should. Jumbucks was on BitSquare. BitSquare is another decentralized exchange. I think we can get Ubik on there fairly easily. Maybe I'll get that sorted out this week.
Okay, what are we looking at here? I don't really see a hell of a lot to get excited about at these levels. I think on balance, Brian and his crazy M's and W's, I think you could make an argument that there was some sort of turn down in this level here. What a funny original candle, eh? So this thing opened up here, went screaming up. Some kid did a fat finger all the way to the moon. And then they actually ended up closing the candle down there. Nasty. So maybe your buddy Alex knows what the story is there. 10 million out, not bad. Yeah, pretty big market cap. They sure hope they're doing something here. I suppose, like I said, I can make the argument, especially on this double bottom. That's a nice market structure turn in here. It looks to me like you just have to momentum chase this. I don't really see an opportunity, and this thing. Look at all these holes. There's a gap right there. There's also a gap down in here. So I do believe that whenever this thing calms down and it's sort of out of the spotlight, it'll have to come down. Big old gap right there as well. So it's looking a little bit like Swiss cheese in here. Awfully violent, right? What is this? This is 155? No, 1155. And they took it a straight line up to what, about 6 or 7? Well, how high is that? Up to 7,200, so maybe a little too far too fast. I don't know. I kind of feel like they shot the wad here. Usually when these things go parabolic, that's kind of the end of the move in the short term. So, extremely volatile. Just even in the short term, you got to say that there's the top end of the range and there's the bottom end of the range. And they just put this candle wick in up top here. So really, there's your playground. It's a pretty damn wide playground. I suppose if you really like this thing and you believed in the story, good old reload zones, line in the sand, lining up with those gaps, and you know, that horizontal support and resistance line. I guess if it was me, I think I would just work my bids down in these areas down in here. Be interesting to go look at the order book. If you are interested in working bids, pull up the order book and see if there are any notches in the order book. Let's see if we can do that. Do we have time? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you can pull them up here, Brian. They should be on that side tab there. Or you have
yeah, but I can't see the market too deep here.
Okay.
I can only go as far as that. Can I go any lower here?
Oh, on the order book, yeah. Click the depth tab on the top of the chart.
Depth. What is that?
Up above the chart itself.
Up above the chart. All
You
right,
see
up
the
here.
two go up,
Alerts.
down.
Orders, down. Sideways.
See, okay, go up, up.
Up.
Okay, stop. Now go
This
left.
right here,
Right there.
yes.
Yep. There you
All
go.
right. So how deep can I go here? Okay.
So that's the entire book. So
Okay, cool. All right. So what was that level that we were interested in? Oh, I lost it. Can I get the chart back? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So levels that we were interested, I really like.
Brian, haven't you used Coinigy before?
No, I've never heard of that.
Just finding new features every day. It's just so feature
Yeah.
Is it a charting site? What's technical analysis? I heard that term once before. All right, so let's go take a look down at the order book down in this area here, between about 500 up to 1100. All right, so where are we here? Okay, so 900, 500. Okay, there's 500. Now, how do we see sizes? There's an interesting size. That's a funny order right in there. Yeah, this would take me
It
a
might not
while
show
to-
you exactly what you want, though.
Yeah, I'll just show you on Bitterx the way they do it. Just, you know,
Go for it.
the audience can sort of see what I'm talking about here. What's the symbol again? What the hell is this? Shift.
Shift. Yeah.
Shift. Looks like I don't have any of it, but anyway, let's go take a look. Okay, so I just wanted to show. Okay, so the levels that we were interested in were that 5. Isn't that interesting? Where are we here? Where's the bids and offers? Total bid. Okay, here we are. 2,500, 30, 30. Oh, okay. I'm getting confused here now. These are the bids. 42, 41, 39. Okay, that makes sense. So 28.15. How far do I want to go down on this thing? Sorry, I'm wasting time. Speed it up, Brian. Okay, so we're sitting here. Oh, okay, we're quite a ways away from the market. Yeah, I like the idea of working orders down in here. Like we said, somewhere between 1,100 and maybe 2,000. I look at the order book and it looks awfully thick here. So I don't know how relevant this is going to be for us right now. But if we just take a quick boo down there, we said, you know, basically 1,000 to 2,000. If you're working orders, and this is what I wanted to mention, if you're working orders, try and find these funny little notches. Like, who on earth is buying 26.25 of this coin? 0.00005 BTC. Why the fuck would anybody do that?
I don't know.
Right? The point here is just like on volume profile with notches, on the DOM, these notches are just as relevant. So try and work your orders right around these notches, because what ends up happening in the market, if someone wants to sell, right, they're going to hit this, you know, to 100,000, 90,000, 5,000. Then they're going to look at this like 98, 2,100, and they're going to be like, fuck, if I sell now, I'm going to go to 2,100. I have to get next big size. I got to go all the way down to 2,000, or basically like 5% lower. So quite often what happens is if we trade down into a level, if you run into one of these notches, usually that's the end of the selling. Why? Because there's no more volume for the seller to get filled on. And the next level to big volume, it could be quite a big step away. So just a little hint to the audience. If you are working orders and you have levels, go into the DOM and just sneak your order just a hair above these funny notches. And you'd be surprised how often this works. I did this on good old Jumbucks, and when I got my fill, I think it was last year, man, that trade was just the sickest trade ever. I'd show you the chart, but it doesn't look like we have it on there. And of course, if you're like, oh yeah, Brian, prove it to me, come on the site and I'll be more than happy to show you the fill. So there's a little tutorial, little piece, little hint for you to throw into your tool belt, all you awesome traders out there. Okay, sorry, got off on a tangent.
All right, let me get the wheel up for one more quick one.
One last one, I think, is about what we have time.
I might veto the choice. I think we should almost look at rep because everyone's talking about Ethereum right now, and REP rep is, I think, in a pretty good spot if we want to have people walking away with this, looking at something they like.
Sure.
So you want this is
Alex is bypassing the wheel.
Yeah, dude, what just happened there?
Take a look at rep and yeah, let me know.
Alex just made an executive decision.
Yep.
All right. Well, interesting looking chart. Hasn't been around that long. How much do we have out here? 11 million, respectable number. 53,000, nice market caps. Got room to grow.
53 million.
53 million.
Oh, is that 53 million? Beg your pardon. Okay, well, that's pretty heavy. That actually scares me a little bit. I don't know why I saw 53,000. Sorry about that. $53 million here. I don't know, man. That's looking a little bothersome. These guys better have reinvented the wheel. I think probably, you know, all the public just watching this, I think it's pretty obvious. If you're like, well, Brian, just give me a simple level on, oh, this is a bull, I know this is a bear. I think quite literally, this is your level that we need to watch for. So I don't know what number this is, 0.00575 or whatever this high is. If we're back above there, then you know that it's ticky-doo-doo-boo and bull, bull, bull. I do see a little bit of a top that's come in here. You can see the ME action, and this is nothing more than a counter trend rally. I could see day traders actually looking to hit this thing, right? There is reload zone. Can everybody see the cheeky little gap right there?
Yeah, I see a couple, yeah.
There's a gap right there. And there is our reload zone. And you can see they took the market right up into that area. They haven't totally filled the gap in yet. Really, we need to see a candle body in this gap to say that it's totally filled. You can see a little bit of an inside bar that's forming here. This is a daily chart, and the new day just started a few hours ago. So we won't know until this thing has actually failed, you know, unless we actually see the market go through this candle low right there. But given the fact that there's still a little bit of this gap open and RLZ, this key high up here, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit more play in here. And I don't know, is this really a great place to be shorting? This kind of reminds me of Ethereum. Do we really want to take short shots on Ethereum right in here? It's interesting because Ethereum did go to new highs when it broke out. You guys said that these two are somehow related.
This is Augur, yeah. So this is their token rep. So it's supposed to be like the biggest app or dApp for Ethereum. And yeah, hopefully we see something released from them this year because they've been kind of testing it for a long time.
Probably watch for that fundamental catalyst. You know, if anything, audience, great example here. Wicks and tails needed to be eaten, came down, nom, 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 nice chew, chew, chew. V bottom, like if we change this to a clothesline chart, you know, all the institutions and stuff, when they look at this, they just see a V bottom here. So, as I said before, you'll know really simply put that this market is resolved bull if we can get up through these highs. Kind of like what we saw out of Ethereum recently. Right now, I would say at best we are stuck in a range, and all those range traders, I don't know whether there's that many people in this, it makes sense why they're hitting against these highs, and they'll just risk to these highs up here. Hey, nothing really for me to get too excited about. I suppose I can understand taking like sort of little old lady shots on this thing. It has, you know, you can kind of see the saucer. You guys heard me talk about saucer bottoms before? Mm-hmm. So you can kind of see.
Looks like the left side of one, kind of.
Yeah, you can kind of see it's trying to saucer bottom here. So let's see how it goes. I think really very simply put, you'll know that this is a bull if we can get back up through here. It's not that far away. It's just like Bitcoin. I mean, really, is that big of a deal? If this is a bull, just get this fucker up here, right? Just as simple as that, right?
Yeah, what's 10 million between friends?
Yeah, exactly. Right. All right. So, I know, Alex, you asked that we take a quick boo at that. That's sort of my opinion right now, for whatever it's worth.
Well, that's good. I think the community really wants to hear more about what to think about it right now because, yeah, Ethereum's looking a little better. So maybe
I do
this
like
is
this saucer. Do you see it? Have you guys heard me talk about market symmetry before?
And something like an ICO, like a really successful one like Augur was, I feel like you need to have a saucer to kind of flush out all the ICO buyers to like kind of, I don't know, buy up their coins before you take it higher. Because if you try and take it higher right away, you're just giving them free money. I love that last candle.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know whether we can believe this first candle here. These nuts.
Yeah, that's API glitch or something.
But I definitely can see this. You can see the symmetry here, right? I don't see any reason why this wouldn't. And big fucking I'm sorry. Big surprise. They'll do a nice saucer bottom, get it all ready for the summer. And if anything, probably what we should expect is a really cute little sort of like, at the end of this saucer, a cute little sort of cup and handle kind of setup, something like that. And if you get that kind of thing and we break out through the top, then this thing's off to the races.
Oh, yeah. Cool. I think we should wrap it up because I'm going to be late for work.
All right.
Work?
Sounds good.
10:30?
Doing night shifts. It's fun times. It's when I can, see China at its most sociable hour in the markets. So I might do my quick blurb here and then peace out, guys.
Yeah, no problem. I gotta get back to it.
All right. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at block_talk. I do my own podcast, lots of cool stuff. This Saturday, I'm talking with Fuso. They do SIM card overlays that allow you to have a Bitcoin wallet that's encrypted on even like old Nokia phones. So it's gonna be really cool. Check that out. And yeah, I'm also the community manager for Ubik. We just released our website while the show was going on. So if you want to check it out at ubiksmart.com. It's looking fine, and you can download the command line wallet. The other wallet will be out probably later this week. And yeah, check it out for more info on those conferences I talked about, or if you want to learn more about me or the rest of the team. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, and I'll give my blurb, and then Brian can give his too. Well, I guess most of you guys probably have seen Coinigy in action, but don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. And yeah, Brian.
Okay. Wow. It's
the abridged outro, I guess.
Yeah, I know. What just happened here? I was like, boom, whoa. Anyway, I guess this is it. I might do my little dance right now, but anyway, my name is Brian Beamish. I run the rationalinvestor.co. If you want to come to our site and get sort of an overview of how we sort of participate and educate traders, feel free to pop on by. Message me, the rationalinvestor.co, while you're on the site. New education program starts the middle of May. So what is that? Maybe 2 or 3 months away kind of idea. School's probably about 2/3 full. So if you are interested, please get in touch with me and let's reserve a seat for you. Really robust community. We had a couple coins that we were in participating in pump groups and one coin in particular went absolutely insane recently. So lots of happy campers at the Rational Investor. And we are trading in various different stock markets, futures markets as well, and also through crypto. So we run stock trading portfolios through one broker for those people that are interested in crypto and trading the broader market. So also consider that too. I think that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the conversations tonight. If there's anything in the show tonight that you were kind of like, man, I just didn't understand what the hell he meant there, just pop on by the site, therationalinvestor.co, and ask me. I'd be more than happy to try and help you out. And I think also I'm supposed to say like and subscribe at CR Investor or something like that.
Yeah. Twitter. Follow Brian on Twitter
Follow.
at
That's what you're
CR
supposed to do?
Investor. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I never know what the hell I'm supposed to say. But anyway, CR Investor. And that, okay. So everybody have yourselves a great evening. I hope my words of wisdom have helped you. Always play from a position of strength. Have a trading plan. Positive mental attitudes. Let's go make a pile of money together.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Cool. Thanks again.
Bye, everybody. I guess we're done.
Yep, we're done. Take care, guys.
Bye,
Happy trades.
everybody. Have a good night. Thank you. Bye.